Hey everyone, how's it going this afternoon? My name is Spencer and this is Cory, and welcome to Best Ball Draft Addicts. Today, we finish up and wrap up this Dominate series that we've been doing, where we've been going through round by round, talking about the players, giving our thoughts, all of our initial thoughts here as we're getting ready to come into the main draft season, which is going to start really soon. As Cory, we are now a day away from the NFL draft. How would you gauge your level of excitement?
One more sleep. I'm right now. I've been watching the movie every year around this time, week of the draft. I always watch Draft Day with Kevin Costner, and I started it the other day. I have kids, so I can never make it through a whole movie, but that's just only got me even more amped up.
Oh, dude, I bet. I'm excited too. And since we've been doing this, I'm even more excited for the draft than I have been in the past, because before, like I said, I normally don't know the names of people at all until they get drafted. Now I actually know some names. I've done some research. I have some thoughts. So we'll see how they all change and everything's thrown out the window after this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's gonna be fun. It's always a fun one.
Oh, it sure is. So what our goal is after today. So we're going to come on again this weekend and talk about the draft landing spots and stuff for players. Just again, give our thoughts once we know that. Hopefully, there will be a draft that we can do. But if not, as soon as the main slate of drafts opens, then we will be back in here. And that's when we're going to kick off just jumping in and drafting with you guys. And hopefully, we'll get a lot of people drafting with us as the summer moves along. So it's going to be fun. Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait.
Before we dive in, Cory, you want to just go ahead and remind everyone about our promo code?
Yeah, we are a partner with Underdog. So the lovely people at Underdog have provided us with a promo code that we can. So if you were you have to be a new user. If you already have an existing account, it doesn't apply. But if you are a new user and you sign up with the promo code BBDA for Best Ball Draft Addict, then you get once you play your first $5, you get $50 free entries. So helps us out a lot. We love our partners over at Underdog. So again, that's promo code BBDA, and the link should be in YouTube and on our Instagram as well.
All right, awesome. Okay, it is time, my friend. It is time to jump in. So tonight we are going through round 17 and 18. Once we go through these today,
Yeah, I
this
know. It
afternoon.
throws you off. It
I'm
throws
just
you
gonna
off.
say
I know.
tonight.
I know.
And after we go through these players of 17 and 18, we're going to look at a couple of the leftovers and talk about a few extra rookies, and then jump into draft and do my last little board entry. You might be able to get a couple more in, Cory, but this will be number 20 for me. So, which works out great for our last live stream. So,
Yeah. And you need to get it in to make sure you don't get cut off like the UDFA.
oh gosh, you know what? Let's just double check real quick before we get going. Let's see where this tournament's at. Certainly, we're good.
I looked. It's fine. Yeah, I looked, but yeah, I should be
Okay.
good.
Yeah, just wanted to double check, just make sure.
I know. I was hoping I wouldn't have to be like be like, sorry, buddy.
Like, oh, we
It
need to
happened.
jump in early. Okay,
It happened again.
we're good. We're good. Yeah, it's at 74%.
Yeah.
Okay, so the players that we're going to be looking at through round 17 and 18 tonight, you can see on the screen here. This is the last group of guys, and it's actually pretty interesting. There's some nice names to pick in here still. So we're going to talk about 3 quarterbacks, 7 running backs, 9 wide receivers, and 5 tight ends. There's only a couple potential stack pieces, and I even kind of fudged a little and counted Aaron Rodgers already as being a Steeler, because assuming that Rodgers is playing, he's going to be a Steeler. So I put him on with Freiermuth as a stack piece. But Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin, and then I almost said Maurice Taylor, Mason Taylor, and Braelon Allen, both with the Jets. So those are your only stack pieces these rounds. So, Cory, before we jump into Alvin Kamara, is there anything that you noticed or wanted to talk about just looking at this list of names?
The only thing is because I think this was made pre Dontavian Wicks, right?
Yeah.
So I that's just from a stacking standpoint. Is Dontavian Wicks is now going, or he was going undrafted after being traded to the Eagles. He's being drafted right in this area. So if you want to talk stacking, him and Hollywood Brown are kind of in this round. Like last night, that was our first draft, I think, since Wicks has even been on our screen. So that was just the only thing that jumped out to me.
Yep, and it's a good point. He will be in the leftover names that we talk about here at the end of these guys.
Sounds good.
So, all right. So first guy up, Alvin Kamara, one of my all-time favorites. Yes, Hall of Fame running back. We love Alvin Kamara. He's done so much great stuff for us over the years, but his time has gone. So I went ahead and I featured him as the main player of this image because he was kicking off this list. And he's by far the biggest name. But his days as a fantasy star or just even a relative piece are probably behind him. With that said, I still think that occasionally he's still going to be there, right? And I still think occasionally mixing him in, he might have a couple games where he could have some relevance and maybe a touchdown or two here or there. So I'm not going to completely write him off. I'll mix them in occasionally, but I pretty much am looking past his name to try to find something with some more juice.
Yeah, I know it's tough to, because he's done so much good for us over the years. But they brought in Travis Etienne. He should be the RB1. He's being paid that way, but Etienne's never been a true workhorse necessarily. So Kamara's going to have a role, and the way that they're paying him right now, he better. But yeah, I think Kamara will still have a role, but I think he's being priced appropriately. And it's definitely someone I'm not afraid to click on by any means. But yeah, it's tough seeing him down this low. But it was one of those situations that every year we get worried about drafting Derrick Henry because wins the cliff. And it just never seems to come. Kind of the same way for Kamara. Then the cliff finally came. Yeah. Father Time is undefeated.
And now he's going into age 31 season. So let's take a look real quick at what his draft season has gone like. Big dip once ETN went there. That's no shocker.
Rightfully so.
It's continued to stay down low. And as long as it stays down here at 194, 195, this is a good buying opportunity because why not if you're waiting to fill in a running back at the end?
I guess there's still a possibility. I don't know what the dead cap thing would be, but there's, I guess, a possibility he could still actually be released. But he said last year if they trade him or cut him that he's retiring. So he doesn't want to play anywhere but New Orleans.
Yep. Okay, next up, Mason, don't call me Maurice Taylor. So Mason Taylor, son of Jason Taylor, really, really a good-looking young tight end prospect, someone who I've already been willing to mix in. I will continue to mix in as a tight end 3 throughout the draft season. I see this as a potential for maybe a breakout, depending on what Geno can do. But it's the Jets. So again, always got to keep mindful of it. We're talking about the Jets here. So with that said, are you into Mason Taylor this year?
Real quick to just touch on the Alvin Kamara thing. I just looked at his dead cap hit. It would be almost $20 million. He's a Saint this year. So Mason Taylor, that one of the very few bright spots that came out of the Jets last year was Mason Taylor flashed. And he looked good in a very inept offense. And we'll see what kind of, like you said, what kind of chemistry he has with Geno. But Mason Taylor definitely flashed, and he's worth a draft pick.
Yeah, we're both in complete agreement there. And drafters, they are as well. Look at this steady climb all of draft season, now at a 186 ADP. And I can see that continuing to climb as we move along and more people kind of get exposed to him as a breakout piece.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Tua Tagovailoa, now of the Atlanta Falcons. My
your boy
my
that
boy,
you didn't know it was your boy.
My boy that I don't like, but yeah, the guy I keep drafting time and time again because I'm waiting and pushing QB3.
He just won't go away.
He won't go away. So the thing with Tua is, as we've discussed already, he does offer some potential elite volume return. And if he can stay on the field and stay concussion free, why not take him as your third QB once we get this late? That's the way I look at it. Stack or no stack. I mean, how are you going to find a higher ceiling from the names we're going to throw out later? I don't think you're going to. So with that said, though, I mean, he is still a huge risk because of not only performance, but his long-standing concussion history. I've always said for the last few years, one more bad hit and we could just see the end of Tua, So I don't know. As we move along, should I be pulling back the reins on my QB3 Tua and mixing in some other names? What do you think?
No, I think it's fine. Especially the only thing that kind of worries me is just the leash that he has. He came in on a 1-year deal. Penix is coming back from an ACL, so this was Penix insurance, but also Penix hasn't been very good either, and they brought in a lefty quarterback because their system was already built around a lefty quarterback. So it was the signing made all the sense in the world. At this point of their careers, for regardless how you feel about him, he's a better quarterback than Michael Penix, and I'm not even sure it's particularly close. Penix hasn't shown what we saw in college yet, and coming back from an ACL, it's hard to imagine him really hitting the ground running. So I think Tua actually is a fairly safe pick.
I appreciate the endorsement, my friend. I do.
I'm just saying that to help you out. Really offline, we can talk about how bad it is. But.
Yeah, but here's what drafters have done since he went there, shot up. He's stayed
rightfully
steady since that point. So
great weapons there, and he's supported top fantasy assets for years. So I absolutely think, like, for a QB3 especially, I'm in.
Yep. All right, next up, Cade Otton, another good late tight end piece here. Someone who has always been a guy that if the right situation opens up, he can return some value. It usually takes an injury or two on the team for him to get the targets that he needs in that offense. We're pretty much in that exact same situation again. So as a late tight end 3 option, you could do worse. He's not someone who I will look to target a lot. If I have Baker, yeah, I'd probably still like to mix him in as a Baker tight end 3 piece. But other than like the occasional stack, are you ever looking Cade Otton's way?
Not really. It's if it's kind of a panic tight end 3, almost like I could do worse, I guess. But I mean, they brought him back on a 3-year, $30 million deal, $20 million guaranteed. So that's real money. So he's the tight end 1, but I agree that he has flashed brilliance, but it's always taken at minimum 2 injuries. And it seems like if any of the top 2 wideouts are that, like Cade Otton's nothing. So draft at your own risk. You could do worse at tight end 3, but not a lot of upside.
Yeah. And as far as drafters are concerned, I mean, it looks like more or less
that's probably when he signed his contract. Yeah, probably where he signed his contract. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, see, and like that, I've seen a lot of mocks where Kenyon Sadiq goes to Tampa. If that happens, bye Cade Otton. Yeah, but for now, we'll see.
Yep. All right, Braelon Allen. Now, I know this is a piece that you like taking. We've already discussed him in our early drafts. I also am into Braelon Allen. He did get hurt last year. I thought going into last season, he was a really great RB2 piece from his own team. So someone late to mix in to look to get some touchdowns or some potential volume if Breece got hurt. Then he's the one that got hurt and Breece stayed healthy. Yep. But we're right back in the same spot as we were last year, really. They're both still there. The offense is maybe a little bit better. It seems like if you're waiting again, most of the time, I'm going to be done with running back by the time we get here. So I'm not going to be looking at these names. But when I am, I'll mix in Braelon Allen.
Yeah, if you're doing a hero RB build where you take one early anchor running back and then wait and fade it until you get to later in the draft and just kind of go by a quantity over quality, or 0 RB where you just take basically no running backs until the very end and take a bunch of them and hope that a couple of them hit every week. Braelon Allen's one of my favorite guys for that because he flashed in his rookie year. A lot of the talk last year was that it was going to be more committee than fantasy players wanted it to be with Breece Hall and Braelon Allen. And like Spencer mentioned, got hurt, missed the rest of the season. So we never really got to see that. I think he did score a touchdown in week 1 as well. So everybody was like, all Breece Hall drafters were not doing well. Me. But I really like Braelon Allen at this point of the draft. I think that he has some of the better upside than most of the other running backs in this range.
Yeah, I'm lockstep and barrel with you there on him. And this is also,
Love
I
that.
like seeing this. Yeah, like this is a really nice dip where he's not
Yep.
getting any sort of hype, and really we could not be happier to see that.
And that happened, I'm assuming, when they franchised Breece Hall. So Breece Hall isn't there long term, but that's more of a dynasty conversation. But they haven't fully committed to Breece Hall. Just as of right now, it's the franchise tag, and they still could technically trade Breece Hall. So we'll see.
And Braelon, one thing to point out from you just saying that, look at his age. He's only going into his age 22 season. Yeah. He's still incredibly young. He's younger than a lot of the running backs that are going to be drafted this year, and he's going into his third season.
Yep. Like him a lot.
All right. Another good. This is a reason why I think to fade Cade Otton pretty easily is because Gunnar Helm is probably a better upside pick, a very similar type of guy, but on a team where he's now the one of their primary targets, I would say, most likely, depending on what they do in the draft, of course. So Gunnar Helm last year looked pretty darn good, and I'm into him. So I'll be clicking his name. I know you're into Cam Ward as a late QB. So are you into Gunnar Helm as well?
Cam Ward is my Tua for you, I guess, in that I for whatever reason, I keep drafting Titans, and it's not because I think they're going to be good. It's just I like the value. And Gunnar Helm, he flashed here and there, and I think he definitely has ceiling, a lot more ceiling than Cade Otton. So I'm definitely into it. He's been a fairly trendy name lately.
Yeah, let's take a look at what his draft season has done. A little spike up here recently, but it stayed more or less steady, I would say, throughout this offseason.
Yep. Chigakonkwo, for those of you that probably saw, he's in Washington now.
I'm surprised there wasn't more of a big spike upwards when, to see where Chig left. You know what I mean? But I think people were pretty much already saying that Gunnar
because they did bring in Daniel Bellinger, but he's a blocking tight end, so nothing to worry about there.
Yeah. His time with the Giants has proved that.
Yep.
Okay, a guy that we talked about last night, a very intriguing late wide receiver option, Pat Bryant of the Denver Broncos. So he probably still is a situation or two away from having any sort of big breakout happen, but he showed some flashes in his rookie season, and he had a good college career at Illinois, right? I'm almost positive.
Yep, he's an Illinois guy.
And so I'm going to mix Pat Bryant in. I would rather have him than Troy Franklin, as we talked about last night, and we'll talk about again with Troy coming up. So what's your thoughts on Pat Bryant?
Yeah, he had a good collegiate career, just stunk up the combine, was slow AF, but Broncos still took him round 3, which was a little surprising. And then the soundbite that Sean Payton gave was Pat Bryant reminds him a lot of Michael Thomas. So, great expectations there. Way to set him up. But no, really, he looked good though. He really did. And you mentioned it, I think, last night, in that he would be, if something happens to Courtland Sutton, Pat Bryant is the perfect guy to kind of, I'm not saying they're apples for apples, the same player, but he would fill that role rather than he's the Jalen Waddle trade. I felt hurt Troy Franklin much more than it does Pat Bryant, because they don't really play the same role. So I think Pat Bryant is a good dart throw down here. The guy has talent, and they invested real capital on him. So just see if he takes another leap this year.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. And then look at this. This is really nice. Once Waddle went there, he's just gone down. But like you just said, Waddle shouldn't really affect him, most likely. So I personally am into
I would buy the dip.
Yeah, down to 212. Okay, next man up, Kimani Vidal. So running back last year for the Chargers, who really looked good, didn't he, in his time whenever he got to play after last year was his second season, if I believe. In his rookie season, he did absolutely nothing. And he's someone who, him versus Keaton Mitchell, I'd rather have Keaton Mitchell, but I'd say you could do worse as a dart throw, where if an injury or two away, he could move right back into where he can give you RB2 weeks.
Yeah, because if something were to happen, hopefully not, to Omari and Hampton, Vidal would take his role, not Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell's role is solidified regardless of who that is. I think he's the change of pace, receiving backfield kind of satellite type back. So I don't think that. So Vidal definitely has standalone value. It's a crowded room. So yes, he's probably an injury away from like really giving value, but it's worth a click here and there. I wouldn't do it if you already have Keaton Mitchell or a Marion Hampton again at the handcuff thing. But if you're again doing the hero or zero RB build, I like Vidal. He flashed enough last year, I think, in his second year when when they gave him the keys to warrant a draft pick.
Yeah, and as far as drafters have gone, there was this big spike downwards. Once that was definitely help me out. Who do we just say the two coming in there? Keaton Mitchell. I'm sure that's once that because once that happened, people are probably like, oh, well, Vidal doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, like we said, he could still matter. It's just I would take him independently of them, like you pointed out.
Yep.
All right. Next up, very interesting rookie. So someone who we've talked about and I'm going to be into, I think that you're going to be into drafting. I can't wait to find out his landing spot. I think that both Sarratt and Omar Cooper could have good careers. I really do like what I've seen from them just in the little bits that I've looked at this week. So you tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, Elijah Sarratt actually had a better collegiate career than Omar Cooper, but he doesn't have maybe, I guess, the ceiling that potentially, Elijah Sarratt kind of reminds me of like a Michael Pittman-esque, like he's kind of that possession 10 to 15 yard receiver guy, so he's going to go over the middle of the field a lot, make tough catches, things like that. He's going to be like, what's going to get him on the field early is being a reliable possession receiver, especially if he goes somewhere that has a young quarterback. So there's definitely, it's one of my favorite dart throws, especially if he ends up going to the right situation. I like him a lot. And as far as like, you get him at a much better discount than you do like Omar Cooper, who is more of a yak guy and a Deebo Samuel type. So I drafted Sarratt last night.
Yeah, he's fascinating to me as far as all these young wide receivers at the end. He's one that really has captured my attention. And his draft, there's really been no spike or movement. He's kind of just slope down. Could not like seeing that more.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Ryan Flournoy, someone who is pretty interesting. We've talked about already again on the streams at the end of these. So just a good piece to potentially throw in. Jalen Tolbert is gone as far as that extra, wide receiver to free up a few more targets for him. There was some Pickens news you were telling me about earlier where they're going to be franchising him, right? And
they already did. Stephen Jones came out like an hour or two ago and said that the plan is for Pickens to play under the franchise tag and that they're not actively trying to sign him to a long-term extension.
But if something were to happen to Pickens or Lamb, that's where Flournoy could really break out. But even if they're both healthy, he can still have some spike weeks. I mean, the Cowboys are a team that's going to score a lot of points. And every year we see guys like him who end up having several good weeks where they throw in touchdowns. It's probably going to be on a primetime game, on like a Sunday night or a Monday night, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we have one of those weeks where the hot name the following week in Fab is Ryan Flournoy because he pops off for touchdowns.
Yep. Real quick note on Elijah Sarratt was he was good for anybody that might think, oh, well, he was good when Mendoza got there. Actually, he was great before that. Ever since his freshman year, he stepped foot on the field. He had 700 plus yards in every single season that he played. And he had almost like 40 total career touchdowns too, including 15 last year. So it wasn't just the Mendoza effect. Elijah Sarratt's always consistent. Flournoy, Dak liked him, and that's sometimes talent aside, you got a good connection with the quarterback. You got to listen. So I think Flournoy is a solid dart throw this year, and this one a nice deep pick because, like you said, if they were to trade Pickens or something happened to one of the big guys there, or even Jake Ferguson, then Flournoy's next man up. So and a high volume passing offense that matters.
Yeah. And then as far as his draft season, I mean, pretty steady. He's just kind of been spiky. You can tell he's stayed more or less in the same range.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Aaron Rodgers. So as I said, of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but technically he's not. He is a free agent. We have to find out for sure if he's coming back. I'm operating under the assumption that he is because I feel that if he wasn't, we would have probably already heard that by now, but I could be wrong. Who knows? But with that said, again, Rodgers versus Tua, I'll take Rodgers occasionally. If I have Jalen Warren, or whatever, if I've got a Steelers piece that I want to pair with a late Rodgers as my third QB, sure, I'll go ahead and do it. But he's not a target.
Yeah, Rodgers. I thought I had heard that he was going to tell them before the draft. That's tomorrow. So I don't get, but hey, it's weird because usually Aaron Rodgers doesn't like the spotlight on him and he doesn't like to make things about himself. So it's weird that he would drag it out this long. But sarcasm. He's an egomaniac. But Rodgers, though, all he can really do is assume that he's going to be the Steelers quarterback. And I think it's a fairly safe assumption. I agree with you. If he was going to retire, I think he would have done it by now. He just likes to drag this kind of thing out before he makes his decision. So yeah, I fully anticipate him being the Steelers quarterback. And I think if you're talking as far as safety, is why he ain't getting benched. So it's Rodgers is the guy. So honestly, when you were talking about like your Tuas, your Genos, things like that, they might not necessarily have a long leash. Rodgers has the longest. So that's where the value comes in, is like you're guaranteed he's going to be the starter as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, and I think that the way that I'll probably handle it is once I know for sure he's back, I'll mix him in more and reduce Tua less whenever it comes to waiting on that third QB.
Yep.
You see his draft season, it's kind of raised as people have fluctuated with their confidence on won't he return. And again, I think that the spike to where it's at now at 199 ADP kind of shows what I'm talking about, where other people are starting to get more confident that he is going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, another very interesting rookie. Cannot wait to see where he goes. He flashed. He's got some real skill. Chris Brazzell, too. So as far as Brazzell is concerned, he's again another interesting wide receiver to mix in here late right now in this early draft season. I think that there is a potential where we could see a decent rise in the right landing spot, and I could see some hype coming in around him. What do you know about Chris Brazzell II?
Yeah, he definitely had big playability. I guess there has been some maturity concerns, but he's kind of squashed that. But he's a big play guy waiting to happen. 6'5", like 200. So and he's got good speed. It's an exciting player. I expect him to be a day 2 pick. Unless there's those maturity concerns really are an issue. But for a team that's looking for a deep threat kind of guy, Brazzell's a great candidate for it.
Yeah.
And that plays well, and that lends itself well to best ball.
Absolutely. And this is a very intriguing looking draft or line here.
Yeah, like what's changing there. Yeah.
I don't really know what caused that big dip, other than if there was maybe some sort of stories of the character concern like you talked about, maybe something like that. And then
a story came out somewhere, yeah.
And then now it's Rose. So very, very interesting. So we'll see how that changes coming up here very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Terrance Ferguson of the Rams. So Terrance Ferguson, old Terry, back it up, Terry.
Back it up, Terry.
So Terrance Ferguson, he last year really didn't do much, did he, in his rookie season? But he flashed some occasional things here and there. The Rams, of course, they're a high volume passing offense. So you can see the potential for the growth, but they did bring back Higbee. They still have Colby Parkinson. So with having those two veteran tight ends, I don't foresee myself clicking on Terrance Ferguson. Hardly ever. I think I'd rather have Parkinson, to be honest with you. So for me, he might as well be Turd Ferguson.
Hey-o. It's funny. Hey, Turd Ferguson, it's funny.
It's a big hat. It's funny.
Yeah. I almost dropped another one, but that's not for our viewers. Ferguson was a super athletic tight end that they took second round last year, but that's the Rams. I feel like they're always like big braining, like our friend Brock that plays baseball. If you've done the baseball and Brock's been on here before, he's one of those sometimes where he drafts someone that you don't either know or you don't expect. And then you're like, oh, am I dumb for not doing that? What does he know that I don't? The Rams, they actually, and I think more teams are gravitating. So the Rams actually, I believe, play more 13 personnel than any other team. And if you're not familiar with that, that has to do with how many running backs compared to tight ends are on the field. So if it's one running back, one tight end, 11, one and two tight ends, 12. And so with the Rams, they play a lot of 13 personnel. So one running back, three tight ends on the field. And that creates a lot of mismatch with those big body guys. So that's why it made sense that they brought back Higbee and drafted Ferguson that high and Parkinson. So he is going to be on the field. We'll see how his chemistry with Matt Stafford is going to keep developing. It seemed like Stafford had a thing going with Colby Parkinson. So I agree. I think Parkinson might be the move there. But hey, Ferguson, maybe he has at least the ceiling, I guess, if you want to say, of the three, he has the highest ceiling because of his age and athleticism. But yeah, the Rams, who knows what they're going to, and there's a chance that they could go receiver at 13. Like a lot of people are linking them to Mekhi Lemon. So if that happens, that's even fewer targets that are going to the tight end. I'm probably staying away like you, but I could justify the pick. I get it.
Maybe if you have Stafford, right?
If it's a Ram stack, yeah.
Right. A late tight end 3 when you have Stafford.
Yeah.
And then big dip in his draft season. I'm sure that was whenever they brought Higbee back. And people before were kind of thinking that he might have a clear path to break out. But
a lot of people were thinking that the Rams, because the Rams can basically do whatever. They have the 13th pick because the Falcons are dumb, and they could have. A lot of people were saying that Sadiq would be perfect, but then they brought back Higbee. It's like, you don't need to take another tight end, so kind of killed that dream. Duggar.
Oh man, Duggar, he will draft him some Ferguson. I have no doubt. I can't wait to talk to him about that. We'll have Duggar on with us soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Troy Franklin, the aforementioned Troy Franklin, who both of us think probably has lost most all of his value with the Jalen Waddle signing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance that he still could offer some spike week upside, you think, even if everyone stays healthy?
With his play style, sure. With him, deep threat, and actually, him and Bo Nix, they were college teammates, so there's a natural chemistry there. He definitely flashed here and there in his second season after doing nothing in his rookie year. So, yeah, but I feel like Jalen Waddle basically took his spot. They traded a first round for Waddle, so the offense should run through him. So I'm probably not taking much Troy Franklin at all. So I think Waddle is going to be the guy in Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin will have the occasional touchdown or something, but it's not going to kill you if you don't take him.
There's just better names to click down here. And look at what drafters, they could not have agreed more. Look at that major dip.
Yep. See ya.
The major Waddle dip. Okay.
Yep.
Now the rookie who with a great A name, Kaytron Allen.
Kaytron Allen, yeah, that sounds like a running back.
Oh man, love that name, Kaytron, just fantastic, and it fits with him being a power running back from Penn State as well. His name fits his body and his play style. So
right.
One thing that I'll tell you, whenever I watched some video on him, I was like, I could see him being it's like Braelon Allen, right? I could see him being in the right situation, if an injury happens above him, I could see him being a guy who could end up being a good running back and return value. So it's just a gamble on the right situation, but I like him from what I've seen.
Yeah. Just took a look at my draft guide from KCSN. Shout out KCSN. They compare their player comp was Tyler Algier. And he's kind of that. He's 5'11", 216. So stocky, thumper kind of guy. And hey, you never know if he goes to the right situation. Maybe he's a goal line type of guy, or maybe how Algier's been with Bijan over the years. So it's worth a dart throw. Again, when you're doing right now, if he gets drafted into the right situation, you could definitely see his ADP jump up a couple rounds. So if you want to try and at this point of the year, dart throws and try to get ultimate value, this is definitely one to do it on.
Yeah, and his draft stock has stayed low. There's been no sort of spike or anything to him, really no news, it looks like. So, yeah, I just think that, again, if you're waiting here, he's an interesting running back to mix in.
Okay. I was going to see if he ran is expected to run okay. I was going to see if he ran the 40, but they 4.5. He didn't run it, but I think anyway. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. Next up is Trey Benson. So this is one who, man, how quickly things can change with these young running backs in a year or two.
Life comes at you fast.
Sure does. And which is why you always have to be willing to pivot, because Trey Benson, he right now is looking like there's absolutely no value there. Pretty much just stay away. That's the way I don't know. I probably won't click his name at all.
Yeah, it's all summer. Jonathan Gannon and company over in Arizona, who are now all gone, just spent the entire summer saying that how good Trey Benson looked and how they want to integrate, like he's going to have a much bigger role alongside James Conner. And we all bought into it because he was a 3rd round pick a few years ago. He's probably considered probably the 2nd best draft prospect after Jonathan Brooks. And so he didn't do anything his rookie year, but that's when James Conner played a full season. So no harm done there. And then last year, James Conner goes down early, and everybody's like, it's Trey Benson season. Here we go. All of us Trey Benson truthers, we're ready to go. And he got hurt too. And even when he played, he wasn't any good. And then they just went out and signed everybody under the sun. And right. there's even still talk that if the Cardinals don't trade out, they could draft Jeremiah Love. Now, I think that's smoke. I think that's a smoke screen trying to get somebody to do something dumb and move up, but not dumb, but just trying to get someone to move up. But yeah, God, if they do that, that is going to shake the fantasy world to its core. But for Trey Benson, yeah, don't do it. It's not, unless he gets traded somewhere, which you can't predict that right now. It's not worth it.
Yeah, just not worth it. And look at this. Everyone is saying no. He's moved into the undrafted territory. Once we move into our 18-round draft soon, I highly doubt that we even look at Trey Benson's name drafted, unless, like you said, some sort of thing changes with his
when a new coaching regime and everything comes in and they sign so Tyler Algier, when they signed him, I dropped to my knees in the middle of Target. No, not really, but I really did, was just devastated. I was like, that Trey Benson's gone. That's it.
Yep. Bye Trey.
Yep.
Okay. Now, this is an interesting veteran wide receiver or tight end here, Mr. Patty Freiermuth, someone who I know that you've been a fan of. He was a guy who really has had a productive career so far. And last year, he reminded us he can still hit some spike weeks. So again, mixing the tight end 3, I would think I would rather have Freiermuth than I would Otton. Gunnar, Helm, if that's arguable, it just depends on your build if you want to go with the veteran versus the young guy.
Yeah, and he seemed to have a rapport with Rodgers, and Rodgers is all about guys he can trust. Jonnu Smith isn't there anymore. Neither is Arthur Smith, which is amazing. I think Freiermuth is, again, a guy tight end 3 that I'm comfortable going after because of it's the week. He's not going to give you consistency week to week, but there will be spike weeks, like Spencer said.
I think he could be very similar in his end of season production to Dalton Schultz a very similar type of thing, but he's going later.
Somehow I knew that that's where you were going to go with that. Is Dalton Schultz.
He's similar.
I'd say like he's just a little lesser Dalton Schultz.
Mm-hmm. But you can get him at the end. Of course, Schultz. That was just the rounds prior, so we're all looking at the bottom tight end.
I was going to say I knew Freiermuth had one spike week, and it was that random Thursday game against Cincinnati, which who doesn't score 1 million points against Cincinnati, but 5 catches for 111 and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good
big one. Yeah, that no joke made up almost 25% of his total yards on the season.
Oh, I 100% believe it. So,
and 50% of his touchdowns.
The Jonnu thing being gone, I think, is really the most interesting thing in play with Freiermuth, because Jonnu did still get a good amount of looks.
Yeah, they traded for him because he was an Arthur Smith guy, and Arthur Smith wanted him, and now Arthur Smith's gone, and so is Jonnu. So, and Freiermuth stuck around.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up is Ray Davis of the Buffalo Bills, back up to James Cook. Ray Davis has really not shown much to me to this point to really make him someone that I'm interested in. Last year, I clicked him a few times on teams thinking that maybe if something happened to Cook, but Cook stayed healthy. Cook is a stud. And I just don't really see much. I mean, honestly, even some of the other running backs on the Bills looked better than him. I'm trying to think what's that the one guy who's been around for a few years that's also the running back on that team. Who's the other running back? Can you remember?
Is it
I'm blanking
Thompson
on his name.
Coleman keep jumping out and Bills.
Ty Johnson.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm dancing around.
It just hit me. Like, honestly, Ty Johnson looked better than him in a lot of games
because he has more receiving chops than
So I don't know. I won't really be looking at clicking Ray Davis.
I don't think so either. I mean, yes, if something happens to James Cook, then sure, but it's kind of hard to project that because James Cook's been a pretty healthy guy over his career so far. Last year, Ray Davis was a super trendy name that people tried to gas up, and it did not work because even with his frame, and he's old AF. He was an old prospect, which was one of the knocks against him. But yeah, even a lot of people thought that he would be the goal line guy instead of James Cook because James Cook's more slight. James Cook and Josh Allen are the goal line options, and that's it. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not in on Ray Davis.
Yep, and drafters really aren't in on him either.
No.
Okay, next guy up, Hollywood. So good old Marquise Brown. So Hollywood Brown now going to the Philadelphia Eagles. You asked this question last night in the draft, and that was, who's better right now, Hollywood Brown or Dontavian Wicks? That's a legit question, and I think the answer might be Dontavian Wicks. So I don't know, though. I mean, time will tell. I've pretty much moved past Hollywood Brown in my mind, but he still is only going into his age 29 season, and I still think at least there's a chance if A.J. Brown is gone or when A.J. Brown's gone, maybe there could be a path for Hollywood to still provide some relevance. So I'm into mixing him in and some occasional teams.
Yeah, I think at ADP, if they were right next to each other, I'd probably split it 50-50. I know that's not a great answer. I can't really give a definitive one. It's all going to come down to who Hurts trusts more between the two, because like you said, when AJ Brown is gone, that's a huge void in that passing game, targets and everything. I'm a Hollywood apologist. I loved when the Chiefs signed him a couple years ago, and then he got hurt in the preseason. And so last year I was super excited they brought him back, and he actually had some weeks before Rashee Rice came back, and in place of Xavier Worthy too. Hollywood's not what he used to be, but I in Eagles builds, I'll be clicking. Honestly, I just really it's hard for me to not click him sometimes because I've always been a Hollywood Brown fan. But I don't blame people for going for drafting Wicks over him at all. Might be more upside. So, but I think it's really one of those, like, you don't have to attach yourself to one or the other. Maybe just mix it up, and if they're both there, take one, then the other the next time.
Yeah, yep. I couldn't agree more with that. I do think that it's probably a 50-50 on take one this time, take the other next time, and just who knows. Yeah. drafters, you can see once Wicks went there, you can see Hollywood go back down a little bit after that dramatic rise, of course, once he did go to the Eagles.
It's a good landing spot. It's a good landing spot.
So that all makes sense. And I want to go ahead and pull this up right now. Let's go ahead and look at Wicks. Let's do it. So let's see. So Wicks, because Wicks is now up to 181 ADP. Look at that. Wicks, look at this dramatic Wicks rise, Corey.
Since people have been all over, like, wanted Wicks to be a thing, and we'll see if he's going to be. It was just always such a crowded room in Green Bay, but yeah.
So the point of that, I think, is more than anything is showing that what you can't do is you can't like wait and make that decision on them. You either have to take Wicks earlier or you push it and get Hollywood later. Yeah, it's not like a one or the other in the same round.
Last night I was faced with the choice of Wicks or I think it was Trey Harris, and I chose Trey Harris, and you were like, "Oh, I'm a little surprised. I thought you would go Wicks because it was an Eagles build," and I was like. I actually was just waiting because Trey Harris was still there. I'm a Trey Harris fan, so I'll just take Hollywood and wait around.
Yeah, and then you got him, so it worked out.
That's exactly how it worked. Yep.
Okay, next up, Tory Horton. So this is a pick that we both like. We've already talked about. We both have already drafted. He's in a good situation. He looked good as a rookie. It's a Super Bowl winning team. His name sounds like Tory Holt. So, I mean, what's not to like?
Right.
Honestly, I'm just going to continue clicking his name and drafting him, especially if he stays down this low.
Yeah, I liked him a lot last year. He was a pretty trendy name in last August of a deep sleeper, and he showed it. He had a couple weeks, like some really nice games, and I was impressed with. I already liked him as a prospect. Was even more impressed when I saw him on the field, and then he got hurt, and he's still coming back from that injury. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I think he's one of my favorite late dart throws.
Yeah. And let's see what drafters have done. He's gone down low. I love that 212 ADP. Stay down low, baby. Let's just be able to snag him up at the end of these things.
Swing low, sweet chariots.
That's right.
Creed, for whatever reason, that Creed Bratton popped in my head there. And I looked real quick. He had 3 touchdowns in his first 5 games. So, and then 5 overall. He actually, in his last game before he got hurt and was done for the year, he had 4 catches for 48 and 2 touchdowns. So 5 touchdowns in 8, 9 games. That's a thing.
That's a thing. He's a thing. Okay. Next, we've come to another interesting rookie, Zachariah Branch, who last night you were talking about how he got arrested for doing something on a sidewalk and had to pay a 40.
Essentially, it's like, it was a $39 bond. I'm like, man, I don't know how he can't. Thank God they've got NIL. So
yeah, no kidding. So
Branch had to be like, I'll just give you $40 right now, and what is it? Yeah, it was silly.
We don't have to make this a thing. The draft is about to happen. Come on, we don't need another story. But here it is. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, it's a landing spot type of deal. I do like what I saw in his film, the little bit that I watched. Again, I'm just sort of a brush up on the guys to see what they look like on YouTube right now. I don't know. We'll see. What is your thoughts?
He's a smaller guy. I mean, Georgia, so at least, he's playing against top competition, the SEC. But yeah, he's a smaller guy. I think his measurables were 5'8", I'm looking right now, 5'8", 177. That's a little guy. So he's probably going to operate out of the slot. And he's got some speed. I probably not going to say, did he run the 40? Yeah, I mean, he ran a 4.3. So he ran a 4.35. That's a great one. It's almost kind of like I don't know, maybe like a Tutu Atwell kind of type deal or something like that. But yeah, I can't see myself clicking on his name a bunch. But depending on the team, if he's going to end up being on the wide receiver 3 conversation on the team that he goes to, sure, because he's expected to be probably like a 3rd round pick as of right now, unless he falls a little bit more.
Yeah, there's just other wide receiver names down here, rookies that I'm more attracted to than him, so I've not clicked his name yet. And it looks like drafters have pretty much been agreeing as he's just sort of sloped downwards.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. This guy intrigues me more. This is one that I think I like more than Branch. My initial thought whenever I watched him, Corey, was Germie Bernard reminded me of Chris Godwin. That was just kind of my first thought. He kind of looked like Godwin. The Nard dog.
Nard dog. Look at me with the Office references over you.
You know I love it. So with Germie Bernard, don't call him Jeremy.
No, it's Germie.
So again, we'll see where he goes, but I'm pretty darn intrigued, and he's a name that I can see myself clicking. I've already done it a couple times. It's like him and Brazzell too. I see them next to each other a lot, and so yeah, I'm gonna mix him onto teams.
Yeah, he's got day 2 buzz, and there's even some teams that I've heard some rumblings that there's some teams that are high on him as, maybe late first round. I think just because he is a solid, like it says possession wide receiver, that's kind of the ilk that he's in. He's not going to be a deep threat kind of guy. Just looked in at the draft guide, they compare him to Romeo Dobbs. I agree. I think he's of that same kind of thing. Like he has the type of build that if he lands in the right position, in the right spot, he could have a long NFL career. Just maybe not putting up wide receiver 1 numbers or even wide receiver 2 for that matter, but wide receiver 3s and 4s, we need those too. So I think he's going to be solid, not spectacular.
Yeah, so not the level of Godwin quality, but play style. Like I said, I think Dubs, that's also the same type of thing.
Yeah.
And look, he's got some buzz, like you said. See, his trend is going upwards recently.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Najee Harris. So Najee is probably going to be nothing, but you did mention before in one of these earlier to me that he had been brought in to work out for Seattle.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's coming off of that bad Achilles. He's a big guy. His path to production would be if he were to get a goal line roll somewhere and be able to get in the end zone. But really, Najee has never been big for fantasy. Probably not someone who I will look to draft ever. Maybe once I know his landing spot, potentially if we get some news later in the summer about his health, but more or less I'm just going to be fade Najee completely.
Yeah, I'll honestly be surprised if I have any shares. I was kind of in on him last year because I knew actually what I said was going to happen was happening. They were giving Najee, him and Hampton was a time split for the injury. So, and then he even had that weird stuff at 4th of July in his eye and the fireworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Achilles injuries for running backs are brutal to come back from, and he already had little to no juice. So I'm 100% out.
Yeah, going into age 28 season.
Kind of surprised he's even being drafted this high.
Yeah, honestly, it is kind of surprising. And then let's see what it's done recently. Look at this, really weird. That's a really weird off season.
So that had to be that spike up had to be when he was visiting the Seahawks, but nothing came of it. So
had to have been. They're just very strange. But yeah, okay. Next up, so Shedeur Sanders, the final quarterback from this main group that we're going to be looking at.
Sandals, Jamaica, and the largest freshwater pool. Office, baby.
So with Shedeur, he was very polarizing last year, to say the least. So
that's Kuiper.
I'd say that's the kindest way that I can put it. But for fantasy, he actually showed some potential fantasy juice.
Let me say Pro Bowl quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name.
That's right. Let's respect this man, Pro Bowl, because that matters a ton. So hey, it's a little star on his name on Pro Football Reference, and that will never go away. He'll always have it. So with him, do you think he's going to keep the job?
Great. Loaded question. I think, well, Deshaun Watson, I think it all depends on, I mean, obviously we don't have any faith in Deshaun Watson at all, but they're still paying him a ton of money and they're keeping him this year. So, if Watson is fully healthy and he should, I wouldn't say Shedeur doesn't have a long leash. That's for sure. He's not like a guy that they're like, okay, we're going to ride this out because they spent 5th round draft capital on him. They're not super in bed with him. So he doesn't have a super long leash. Even if he does win the now, he'll beat out Dylan Gabriel. I think we all saw Dylan Gabriel is not a starter in the NFL. And Shedeur had some games. And the thought is that Cleveland is going to invest more into their offensive line. They already traded for their right tackle from Houston, but then they might potentially try and go offensive line in the first round this year. So that's a good thing for Shedeur. I've been clicking his name as my 20th round pick in a 20 round drafts that we've been doing. 18 rounds, probably not. But if you've got a 2 quarterback build and you were comfortable with it and you get to round 20 and there's no one else, Shedeur, that's fine.
Yeah, then again, I could see throwing him in if I already have Fannin or if I already have Sampson or any other couple of Browns pieces, and I do want to take that late QB. But overall, we're just going to have to see how things play out. Again, he could not have the job to start the year. He could lose it a few weeks in. He could be the starter all season. To me, he's just a huge gamble.
Yeah, a lot of volatility there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we made it through those. So now we are just going to go through and kind of quickly review some of these players here. So, Cory, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each one of these rounds as we go. I'm going to give just quick thoughts on these players, and then let's not talk about the rookies. We're going to run through some rookies. I got some slides for some of these remaining rookies coming up for us. So to start with round 19, Michael Penix coming back from injury. I'm not interested. Jordan James, I don't know. Maybe he's McCaffrey's backup, but coming into his second season, I'm not really looking at him. Tonjes, I think, is interesting as what we don't know what the deal is with Kittle, and he flashed. I think Tonjes is a pretty nice pick as a tight end 3 option. Io Manor, not really. I'm kind of staying away. I don't see much opportunity for him. Ollie Gordon, I find interesting. You know, him, Jalen Wright, other options there. If something happens to Achane, I think I could mix him in. Devon Vele, I am going to be clicking his name. I like that one, especially with Shuck teams. Colby Parkinson, I already mentioned. I will draft him, probably over Ferguson. George Holani, not really. I'm kind of staying away. I don't really see anything there. I could be wrong. Kyle Williams, I'm in on that. Cooper Kupp, I will never quit him. And Tez Johnson, he really flashed. I think he's actually potentially good. What's your thoughts on anyone here?
Yeah, I pretty much agree everybody that you said across the board. Devon Vele, it just depends on New Orleans and what they draft. If they draft a wide receiver at 8, I'm going to be a little less in on him. But if they take someone on a day 2 or day 3, I think Vele would be fine. Ollie Gordon, I love the talent. And last year in the he was a preseason favorite, and I was in on him, and I still am. So still like him. Jordan James, agree, he could be. It just San Francisco seems to take a freaking running back every year and just confuses us even more. And then Ty Simpson, we'll see where he lands, if he ends up in Arizona or Jets or Steelers, and if he has a path to be a starter or not.
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about the rookies here in a second.
Yep.
But yeah, so next up, in the round 20, Jaden Blue. I think you've already shown interested in drafting him as a late running back flyer. See what he can do. Mike Gesicki, yeah, again, I'll mix him in. Maybe some occasional weeks, not really gravitating towards him. Justice Hill, not really for me. I'm kind of moved on past him, but I guess he could do something for someone. Bateman, I'm going to always be interested in Bateman. I'm probably going to still mix him in occasionally. He was a great pick for me 2 years ago. Big disappointment last year, but I like Bateman. Fields, I don't foresee ever drafting him. However, still, I mean, if anything were to happen to Mahomes, I mean, Fields could still return high-end fantasy production. So in real leagues, I think Fields is a good piece for your bench as a just in case. Best balls, it's going to be hard. Jalen Noel, yeah, I mean, he's still interesting. A piece, I will mix him in. Theo Johnson, I like. I'm a Theo Johnson fan. Obviously, the Isaiah Likely thing kind of killed him, but I will still draft Theo Johnson. And we've already talked about Dontavian Wicks. He's shot up, of course, since going to the Eagles. He is nowhere near this. He's way, way, way higher. You've got to take him much earlier, and I will be in.
Yeah, for me, Jaden Blue, I just really like the talent that he had, like the speed element. And Javonte, where he is the guy and he's a solid running back, he doesn't have nearly the juice that Jaden Blue does. Jaden Blue was a healthy scratch most of the year last year because he had some room to grow and to get better. But I still am in on the talent. Gesicki isn't a bad dart throw for for a tight end 3, or if you're a tight end 4 kind of guy. Yeah, I'm out on Justice Hill. Bateman doesn't do a lot for me, but it is what it is. Yeah, Fields, if for some reason we hear that Mahomes is behind or has a setback or something, Justin Fields is going to skyrocket up boards. Jalen Noel, keep your eye on Tank Dell. I think Jalen Noel was essentially drafted to replace him. And then actually, I really liked Theo Johnson last year. And I'm not 100% convinced that Isaiah Likely is just going to be this alpha tight end over him. So I'm actually in on Theo Johnson too.
Yeah, we'll both be in on him.
He had a nice chemistry with Jackson Dart. They came in together as rookies. So
yep, I agree. All right, next up. So Amari DiMercado, very interesting running back. I know you're in on. I will occasionally mix him in too. He's got some juice. Jalen Tolbert, interesting landing spot in Miami. Of course, there's potential for targets there. He wasn't going to get in Dallas. Greg Dulcich, same thing. Potential targets in Miami. We'll see if they bring in another tight end. He has trouble staying healthy. Evan Ingram, I'm pretty much ready to move on from. I don't even know that there's anything left for Evan Ingram to do. We'll see. I guess theoretically he's a fine pick here, but I'm pretty much done with him. Keenan Allen, he's going to end up signing somewhere. He's going to shoot up draft boards. I'd say he's worth clicking, but he's annoyingly productive because I think most of us are ready to move on from him, but he's still coming back out there and taking targets from someone else. Keon Coleman, the Bills hate him. He needs to go somewhere else. Jahan Dotson, interesting pick because of the Tua connection now, but he's probably not that good. He's not really shown that he can do anything, but who knows? He's still relatively young. Deshaun Watson, nope, I'm not drafting him. Tyquan Thornton, you've called it out. He's the Chiefs' downfield threat, so he could provide some occasional spike games with long touchdowns. And DJ Giddens, back up to Taylor. I won't ever take him.
No, same. Yeah, DiMercado is one of my favorite last picks because Kansas, obviously spent a lot of money on Ken Walker, but Ken Walker's never really been a true 3-down back mostly. And it's not because he can't catch, because he can be a receiving back. It's just pass pro isn't his strength. And with DiMercado, that is his strength. When they signed DiMercado, it was for Chiefs fans. It was like, well, there you go. Because that was the one knock that Chiefs fans had on giving all that money to Walker was like, he's probably more of a 2-down guy than a 3-down guy. So I really like DiMercado. Dulcich, actually, he's still young. He still has the upside. If they don't go and bring in anybody else of note, that's actually not a bad thing. I agree with you on Evan Ingram. Keenan Allen, just go away. Keon Coleman, I'm out. Even if he goes somewhere else, I'm out. Same thing with Dotson. I'm out on him. Deshaun, no. And then yes, Tyquan Thornton, big time. He would this is the perfect. This is the perfect format for Tyquan Thornton's best ball because he has been a better deep threat than Xavier Worthy. And he had really nice chemistry with Mahomes. It's just whenever Rashee Rice came back, they just went away from him and never went back. But they brought him back, and I was really happy. And he's a really nice late pick.
It's kind of the only format for him, right? Like I don't think we'd have.
Yeah. I don't
Thornton,
think.
anything other than best ball.
I was gonna say dynasty. You can make the argument for sure, but then like redraft, if he's a bench stash, and maybe they did bring him back for a reason, but yeah, best ball is the format for him.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then run out the final little group of players here. So Jalen Wright, interesting, back up third string behind Ollie and Achane, but he's flashed. He's got some juice. I'm kind of intrigued by him. Joe Mixon, he's probably done. If he does come back and sign somewhere, he could provide a late veteran RB, but right now I'm just staying away because we're probably seeing the last of Joe Mixon. LaQuint Allen, I'm not really ever looking at him, but he's kind of like the new Tank Bigsby, right? I don't know. We'll see what they do there. Darius Slayton, I've always been intrigued by Darius Slayton. I've always thought he's better than what he's returned. But at this point, with all of the moves that the Giants have made and are making, I don't see much there with Slayton anymore. But he still is somewhat intriguing. He could provide the occasional pop game still. Darnell Washington, that's a giant mammoth of a man. And you know how I mentioned with Jonnu gone, maybe Darnell Washington could turn.
Yeah, he's more of a blocking tight end, but which means he's going to be on the field.
So. Yeah, and so you never know, especially touchdowns. He could provide some spike weeks, but I probably won't ever look to draft him. Matt Collins, better real life wide receiver for a team than fantasy, but he could still pop a few weeks. Kirk Cousins, who's obviously going much higher now, and he's someone who's in that vein of Tua and Rodgers. Really, that's where he's at more, and we've already talked about Cousins. Andre Ishavas, I don't think that there's much there. I have drafted him in the last couple of years. It's not really returned a lot, but he does, have the occasional touchdown. Jack Besh, big disappointment in his rookie season. I don't know what's there, but he's still super young, and at least there's something maybe. And Tutu, he's on the Dolphins now, so it's like Jalen Tolbert. At least now he's got an opportunity for a potential role. We'll see, but probably Tutu is someone I won't ever look to pick. We'll see if Duggar will.
Jalen Wright, I still like the talent, and you said third string. He might not be. He's more of a replacement for if Achane goes down. We saw last year when Achane, if he was ever, I think he left a game early or something, and Jalen Wright ended up he was the replacement for Achane rather than Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon kind of has his role kind of cemented, where it's like a 6 to 8 carries, give Achane a breather, whereas Jalen Wright has the big playability. Yeah, Joe Mixon, I'm out. LaQuint Allen, the only thing with him is, and I was reading this earlier, this was a Matthew Berry Fantasy Life thing, I think. It's like a little blurb that I saw, is like they did an article on like running back rooms, wide receiver rooms that are just going to absolutely be devastated potentially from the NFL draft. And because that's the thing, is NFL coaches and GMs, they don't care about fantasy. So LaQuint Allen and it's Chris Rodriguez, LaQuint Allen, and Bishal Tootin. And what if Jacksonville takes Jadarian Price in the second round? Now what do we do? It's just, remember 2 or 3 years ago, Ken Walker was a top 3 dynasty guy. He was a second round pick, Seattle. Then the very next year, they took Zach Charbonnet in the second round. And we were also excited about Charbonnet. And it's like, oh my God. But other than that, in this Jack Besh, I could make an argument if maybe he has some chemistry with Kirk. So I think that's worth a dart throw. Otherwise, everybody else you mentioned, I'm out.
Yeah, even Mac Hollins, even shoeless Mac Hollins, you're out on shoeless Mac?
Just that makes me so mad. He's 33, though. I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, Mac Hollins, I do think that guy, I respect him a lot, though. He is a really good wide receiver for a real, like, core group, like for a team, but for fantasy, no.
He's a good clubhouse guy.
So, okay, now let's just talk about a couple rookies, and then we're going to jump in our final early pre-draft draft. Okay, Ty Simpson, you kind of touched on him already. He's the only other rookie quarterback that I know of that could potentially get a starting job somewhere. Obviously, coming from Alabama, the major program that they are, he's dealt with the crowds and the pressure and everything that comes along with being an Alabama quarterback. We've seen a lot of Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL. He's going to be another one. What do you know about him? What do you think about him?
To start the season last year, to start the college year 2025, he was looking like a top 5 pick. He was incredible. And then the second half, he just absolutely fell off. Now, I know that they did not have a running game to speak of, and I don't think the offensive line, I don't remember that situation, but Ty Simpson he's one of those, he's getting gassed up. So we don't know if it's going to be first round or second round. I heard today that he turned down $6.5 million in NIL to return back to Alabama. And Florio at Pro Football Talk actually did an article about sooner or later, we're going to start seeing these collegiate players that declare for the draft. And if they're not picked in a certain spot, they can actually go back to college. So, for example, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Ty Simpson, say he doesn't go round 1, he's got about 18 or so hours to decide if he could just go back to college or if he wants to stay in the draft, which is a wild scenario to think about. But yeah, he's the clear. It's all about landing spot. I don't think he'll be a starter day one, regardless where he goes. But if it goes to like an Arizona or Jets or something like that, then there is a path.
There is a path. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Next up, this is personally right now, this is the rookie that I am clicking the most of, that I am the most intrigued on. Our boy Jeremiah Duggar, he told me about him because he lives in Louisville. And so he told me about Chris Bell. I've looked up videos on him. I've watched more videos on Chris Bell than I have on anyone because he fascinates me. And he looks so good, like he could be so good. He's the exact type of wide receiver that I like and I'm kind of attracted to from just watching him. And the burst he has, I'm just very, very intrigued. What do you think about Chris Bell and his potential?
Yeah, big dude. He's like 6'2", 220 or something. And yeah, super exciting prospect. Tore his ACL back in November, so hasn't done any testing or anything. He's going to be, he could go as early as maybe round 2, maybe, but could be a round 3 and beyond pick. And but yeah, as long as he's met with a lot of teams, if they're okay with his medicals, then we're going to hear his name probably day 2. And yes, he's a very exciting player. For our game this season, I'm probably out, but it would have to take some very positive news and a really good landing spot. Just because we're, for all intents and purposes for this channel, it's one season.
One season, yeah. Dynasty, that's a different story, but yeah, for this year, we'll see. And I'm going to still gamble on this at the very end while he still goes in the last round of drafts. If he gets buzzed up, I could agree, starting to fade him more. But also, it's not like I'm taking him every time. He's in the rotation.
Right. I would just caution people with, the transition to the NFL is already hard, but then when you're doing it post AC, it's Jameson Williams tore his ACL that year in like January, was drafted in the first round, missed, and I think it was at least half the season. And then even when he did play, he didn't do much, and he was a much better prospect than Chris Bell. So I just caution people that I wouldn't expect a lot from him in this format.
That's a great caution, and that's good to help us cool down my hype on him some, because
but it's exciting. These guys are exciting, and when we're doing Dynasty too, you kind of start to blend the two, and you're like, I think he could be a stud. It's just we got to be realistic about it too.
No, I appreciate that. This is another one who, out of all of these names that I looked at late, this is another one that stood out big time, and he pops on film, super fast, tall, makes good contested catches. I'm really into Ted Hurst as well. He's not coming off any injuries, right? So
I don't think so.
Again, landing spot, we'll see. But right now, his name pops at me late.
Yeah, I think this could be. I would take Ted Hurst over Chris Bell because I think Ted Hurst has a more of a path to provide this season fantasy value in the right spot. So yeah, I'm in on Ted Hurst too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to see where he goes.
Yep.
And I like that. I like the name. I think it's a good wide receiver name.
There's not enough Teds.
There's not enough Teds. Just
Has there been one since
Hurst.
Ted Ginn? Gosh,
I don't
finally.
think so. Finally.
Hey, Ted's out there. We're back, baby.
We are back. All right. Jacoby Lane. Again, another very interesting wide receiver prospect down here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily feel the same level of hype on him that I did from the previous two, but also good coming from a good program. When you watch him, it's so hard to for me to gauge college production because I've just been tricked so many times, but again, this is one that could stand out and he might be a guy that pops. What do you think about Jacoby Lane?
Yeah, 6'4" is 6'4", like two in the 200 range. I think he ran a 4.4. So there's production. He was the number 2 on his own team behind Mekhi Lemon. But he has the potential to be a boundary guy. And I would anticipate probably like a round 3-ish, but he could be one of those guys because it is a pretty deep wide receiver class that he sneaks into day 3. But yeah, Jacoby Lane's solid. I don't think he has the ceiling but coming from USC, like you mentioned, it's a great program that's produced some good receivers for a long time. So I'd be fine clicking his name if he ends up in the right spot.
Yeah, he's going to be definitely a guy who, if I like where he goes, I could see rising up quite a bit. Okay, now to a rookie running back, Damon Claiborne. This guy, again, all these guys are just super interesting, depending on where they go. What do you know about Damon Claiborne?
I'll be honest, I don't know a ton.
Not much.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't know a lot about him. I'm kind of curious to where I'm going to just check my draft guide real quick and see who they compare him to. But yeah, James Cook actually. But they do have him on a 4th round grade. So yeah, it's one of those landing spot dependent guys.
Yep, and we'll see where he goes. But again, he could shoot up over some of these other running back names we've talked about. Antonio Williams. So there's a couple Clemson guys coming up here. He's the wide receiver from Clemson. We will see again landing spot, but this is just another name that could turn into something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, solid program. Coming from a solid program could be, again, it's a deep receiver class this year.
Really is.
Not a lot of high-end elite talent, but very deep. Like especially when we get into, there's going to be guys that squeak into that are day 2 talents that are going to go in day 3. Don't be discouraged by that. That's just how the NFL teams know. I'm not going to take this guy in the 3rd round because I know I can get a fairly similar guy in round 4, round 5. So don't be discouraged by draft capital.
Yeah. And then here's the other Clemson teammate of his, running back Adam Randall, who, again, it's so easy to watch tape of guys from college and be like, man, I can see how he could be a stud. He actually looked pretty darn good. You see it says hybrid upside RB. He's a good pass catcher. And whenever I see a good pass catcher who is fast and has some size, that leads me to immediately think of all of the guys that I've seen have success with that role in the right team, and I could see him turning into a piece that could matter in the season.
The pro comp is Rachaad White, which is exactly who you just described.
Yep. Yeah. And I like drafting Rachaad White. So again, I could see drafting Adam Randall.
Yep.
Now we've reached the point where my level of hype kind of has died down, and I just want to hear if you know anything or what you think about a couple of these remaining guys. Skylar Bell, anything?
Yeah, Skylar Bell, kind of a smaller guy, but I just checked his combine measurables just to make sure I wasn't saying anything dumb, but he did run a 4.4, about 5'11" and 192, so a little smaller, probably might be more of a slot guy, but yeah, again, bright spot. He could be good.
His name's too close to Sky Moore for me. Sky Moore has ruined the skies.
You don't want to give me PTSD right now.
Yeah, we don't. Malachi Fields. Anything you know about him from Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a guy that's going to be so hard for me to fade, even though I should. But big dude, and I like him. He's I think he's been a fairly polarizing prospect, but I don't know. I've always been a sucker for Notre Dame players and the ones that are as big as him. Just seeing if I could find his.
What? Well, by the way, who started your Notre Dame love? Was it Rick Mirer?
Rick Mirer, definitely. Oh man, his pro comp that I've seen in this draft guide is Alan Lazard. So who doesn't want a piece of that?
Give me that Lazard.
Sign me up, baby. But yeah, Malachi, it's just a me thing. I'm not recommending anybody draft him.
Yeah, but we'll see where he goes. A couple more. We're almost, and then we will jump into draft. So anyone, we're going to do our last little board here. Okay, Seth McGowan. Do you know anything about Seth McGowan?
Not really.
Not really. Nope. Just interesting running back piece here. Bryce Lang. Anything here? Or Bryce Lance?
Bryce Lance. Is he related to Trey?
I don't know.
I mean, they both went. Trey went to North Dakota State. So
oh, did he? Then let's see. Look it up. See if he's his brother. Because actually, his picture kind of looks like him.
Yep.
Brothers?
He's his younger brother.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you said, and it was North Dakota State. That's where Trey Lance went. I was like, it looks like Trey Lance. So yeah.
Yeah,
I hope he does better than Trey Lance is still in the league, believe it or not.
He's Chargers, right? Isn't he Herbert? Yeah.
Yeah.
One day, watch Trey Lance. Watch the situation where Trey Lance turns into a star like Malik Willis in 3 years from now. You just wait.
Geez. Yeah. Man, I was such a big Trey Lance guy too. God, I was like, it was one of those like JJ McCarthy. I was like, how does he fail?
I know. Well,
we saw he did. He failed.
And then here's the last one, Corey. Max Clare, tight end from Ohio State. Know anything about him?
Absolutely. He's one of my favorite. This is a guy that if the Chiefs grabbed at pick 74, I'd be ecstatic because he originally was a Purdue guy, right?
Oh, was he? I didn't know.
I think
I don't
so.
know. Did he transfer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a Purdue transfer. But yeah, Max Clare.
Trader. I hate him now.
Yeah. Max Clare, yeah. So he was a Purdue guy, looked really nice at Purdue, and then transferred to Ohio State, and they just didn't use him the right way. But Max Clare is a guy that he's going to be, I bet this summer will be on radars if he goes to the right spot. But I like Max Clare a lot.
All right, beautiful. Well, Corey, we made it. We did it, buddy. We did it.
We dominated it.
How about that domination? Going through all the players, giving our initial thoughts. I'm sure as the summer moves along, I'd like to kind of go back maybe in a month or two, Corey, and kind of start it for another month, kind of start a rankings where I give my, me and you talk out. We have kind of like an initial rankings, and then we do another set of videos where we go through and talk about players with, what we think about them as the summer moves along. So I think that's probably be a good thing to do in June. So, but until then, we're going to just be drafting.
Yeah, we're going to talk about these guys a lot. So you have not heard the last of them.
Speaking of drafting, do you have the little board pulled up, sir?
I thought I did, and now Underdog just decided to spin on me here.
That's okay. You get ready. You let me know. We've only got one person watching live. If you want to draft with us and you have a little board entry left, go ahead and pull it up and get it ready.
Okay. I logged me out. Sorry.
That's all right.
I was going to say, it's weird. It says it's trying to find my location right now.
You just let me know once, and if not, if you need to pull it up on your phone, and then once you're pulled up on your phone, you could try to just jump in.
Yeah, I might just have to do it on my little board. All right, so yeah, I can. I was just trying to do it on my computer. But yep, I'm good.
Okay, then give me the countdown.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, enter.
Come on, baby. Get us in the same draft. 6 more.
Good
Beautiful.
deal.
All right. I'm sorry to do this to you again, Corey, but I'm sitting here drinking my coffee and I have to go.
I knew that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah, so this is the why if it was gonna fill right away, I was gonna push through. But give me just 2 minutes here and go ahead and just talk to the folks about the draft or any thoughts you have on this series.
Sure. All right, now I'm trying to turn dark mode on. There we go.
Oh yeah, you gotta have dark mode.
It put light mode on. I was like, what am I, psycho? All right. Hi, everyone. Yeah. I wonder why I'm having some computer issues here, but whatever. Classic. Nothing ever works the way it's supposed to, right? So yeah, so excited about tomorrow. God, I can't wait. I'm just waiting. And another reason why is I'm so sick of looking at mock drafts. I'm just so mock draft out and they mean nothing and no one knows anything that just ready to absolutely just be done with it. Just please make it end, make it stop. Man, it's actually taking a minute for this bad boy to fill up. Usually these things fill up pretty good. So if I'm only talking to a few people here, if they're even listening, but once we get into like the summer and like the more active, or when there's more people drafting, these rooms fill up like that. Like, so there's going to be plenty of times where we try to get in the same draft and it fails because it can be tough because a lot of people are jumping in these things. But right now it's a lot easier. We're still 6 more to start. So yeah, and it's the middle of the day too on a work day, but not everybody can play hooky. Oh boy. Oh gosh. But yeah, for the draft tomorrow, hopefully my kids will leave me alone long enough to watch round 1. But yeah, I'm just and being a Chiefs fan, I'm just so excited to, see what we do. We haven't had this high of a pick organically, I guess I should say. Like we drafted top 10 from Mahomes, but we traded to do that, so that doesn't really count. That makes more sense.
All right.
Yeah, so it was saying that there were still 6 more, and I was like, how is this not filling up? And then I got the notification on my phone that the draft starts in 60 seconds, so I was frozen.
Yep, that makes more sense.
Yep, that was because I was just saying out there that I was like, if this is filling up slow, it's going to be a lot harder during the season or during the summer for us to get in these drafts together because people are joining these things quick.
Oh yeah, and the problem right now, just why it even took as long as it did, it's not even really a problem. But there's only the one contest, and it's only a 20 entry max. So a lot of the sickos like me out there have already used their 20 entries, and so there's no other tournament right now for them to join on Underdog. So they're probably over on DraftKings and Drafters and other sites. Which, by the way, I haven't pulled the board up because it's loading. It was giving me a spinning thing here, but Corey, I don't think you ever have you ever drafted on Drafters before?
I don't think so.
So I have very little, but it's actually really interesting. I like it. They've got a really good app. I've never used their website before. But it's a really good draft app, and they've got a $5 tournament. I did a couple entries this morning since there was nothing else on Underdog that I could do, and I'm going to do a few more. So we might mix that in a stream or two.
Ooh,
definitely going to. Here we go. Okay, now we're in. I also watched the video last night, Corey, from last night, and whenever I put us at the on the screen, I just took us off the screen for the draft board, so we were just talking actually. But
did you see pick 7 for me?
I did 7 and 9. We got.
Well, I know, but who I took?
Oh, Smith and Jigba. Oh, nice. Amon-Ra went before Amon-Ra and McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Look at
Very,
you.
very happy about I know.
Getting the pick 7 JSN fall. Heck yeah. And I just took Lamb because when we were talking earlier, you brought up the whole George Pickens thing to me. If George Pickens were to be traded, CD Lamb back up in the Puka Chase territory, JSN territory of going with pick 5, 6. And that's kind of where we both think Lamb would settle back to.
Yep. Yeah, because I just can't imagine that George Pickens loved that news. But whenever, I don't know, with the Cowboys saying that already, that makes me wonder. It's kind of weird that they would just come out and say that at this point. So kind of makes me wonder kind of where heads are at on that front. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because we know that George Pickens is not the personality that he wants to feel disrespected. That's for sure.
No, that is certainly. All right, I got it working on my computer now. I figured out what happened. Beautiful. So we're good to go there.
A Manhampton Jeremiah Love. It's my last entry. Let's go Love. Let's shoot for the upside of Love.
Yeah, sure.
Hampton, when we did our first show, I told you kind of sold me on Hampton, and I am drafting him. But I'd say take this pre-draft.
Right now, I'm like, do I go Hampton or Trey McBride?
Because you have the choice. I mean, Hampton.
I'm going to go Trey McBride. I don't. It's not going to happen often, but you know what? Look at that start with JSN Trey McBride. That seems like it's
targets galore.
Yeah, we like targets. Chase volume.
Chase.
And we got a little Hampton slide going on right now.
And look, Pickens just went at 2.8.
Wow. Okay. Well, they are not worried about the news then.
They are not worried about the news one bit.
All right. So
there went Hampton.
Yeah, there he went. That's a good value for him right there.
That is.
Normally that definitely would have been my first pick, would have been Hampton, but yeah, I'll tell you, we talked last night, got to mix it up. You don't want to keep just doing the same thing over and over, especially when you're doing bulk drafts. So I need to get some Trey McBride shares.
Yeah. And this will be your only one, I'm sure, of this tournament. And so at least have a team with him on there.
Yep.
Have you drafted in the little board? Have you drafted a Bowers team yet? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
So, theoretically, you could still get one of those teams in there as well. And he does go later. If their price was the exact same, would you still agree McBride over Bowers? Like if they're exactly the same? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's interesting. I'm, you know me, I'm kind of 50-50 on him.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you.
Actually, I think I'm going to go Kyron here.
Ooh, okay.
Mix it up a little bit.
Mixing it up, yeah, because obviously your gut thing would have been to take Brees, right?
Yeah, and I'm not in on ETN at this ADP, so yeah, and I've already taken Brees. I don't know, again, just to mix it up a little bit.
And I'll take Brees. Since you did it, I'll do it.
Why not?
Why not? Because I should have a wide receiver that I like.
I was considering Josh Allen at that pick, though, actually. Like that, I really was. So it's like, man, I think I might go Allen and just, again, get top guys at each position. But
alas,
I'm not mad.
Rubberneck took him the pick before.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Kind of a reach up by the guy with Lamar right after.
Yeah, a little bit. Too. A little bit. Yeah.
I don't blame it. I mean, I see it. It's just I wouldn't have done it, but simply because I'm trying to. Justin Herbert. Again, I'm trying to extract the best value from the draft.
Quarterbacks have been all over the place.
All over the place, man. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get a good wide receiver coming back around here to me. No matter what happens, I'm going to like my pick here. I have a really hard time deciding who is actually better between, say, Devonta Egbuka or Ladd McConkey. So I don't know. I'm staying away from Garrett Wilson. That's just because of a Jets thing, and I don't want 2 Jets. I don't want to take Lamb and Wilson. I've done it before.
Yeah,
There goes McConkey.
it's
So
only something I'm dumb enough to do.
so Smith Egbuka.
I mean, given the recent news, I think I'd go Smith.
I think I'll go Smith. Yeah. I took Smith last night, but I have less of him. I've already taken more Egbuka. So yeah. And then then theoretically it could open up the Hurts thing. And, we'll see if he falls back around. Who knows?
Sure.
Okay. Now coming to your pick. Now, are you going back to wide receiver or running back here?
Man, I know, like, I've really liked the running back, early thing. My boy is there too, but I am going to go Javonte here.
Ooh,
again.
Okay.
Just kind of going, like, it's not the flashiest running back room right now, but kind of like just again knocking out those running backs early and filling it in on receivers late. That just seems to be the blueprint that I like the most. And I went early tight end too, so that this will be a different build for me.
It will, like it. But I like the start of it. Double Williams.
Yep. We're a big Williams team over here. Always have been.
Big Williams drafter over here.
Yeah, big Williams guy. But I really did like, and yeah, I mean, normally I think Garrett Wilson, Egbuka, either one of those would be tough to pass on. But yeah, just for this exercise, I am gonna go a little Javante.
Yeah, the guy, the McCaffrey drafter, he took advantage of the Egbuka fall because the guy who took Josh Allen went ahead and grabbed DJ Moore, which is not a surprise there. I'm sure most Josh Allen drafters are going to do what they can to draft DJ Moore on their team, and I agree with that. I understand it. But I expect to see it happen consistently. So it does bring something to say as far as you can change things up and take more independent of Josh Allen because, the majority of drafts are going to happen where they're paired together.
Yep.
Okay. We're coming back around here. Now you could either stick strong and take your third RB or go back to wide receiver. I'm going to be interesting to see what you decide to do here.
Yep. There's some good options there.
There are.
There are some options. I do like Devontae, but I don't know. I just like the upside of Rome a little more. It's one of those, like with Adams, like when does the because David Montgomery would have been the pick.
Yeah, when does when does it stop with Adams? Right? When does the production end? I don't think it's now, but
but I'm gonna go with Dune. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rome here. I just still love. We talked about him before, but I love him as a prospect. I loved him as a prospect. I still think sky is the limit. Potentially, it's just. I don't know. I like Rome at this ADP than Luther Burden at his, personally.
Gosh dang it! Well, I can't help then the fact that he fell then to me. I gotta take Davante Adams. Again, you called out my love for veterans, and whenever they fall, it's hard to pass up. And I do. I love Davante.
Yeah, the Rams are such a wild card, and because they're. With the free agents they've signed in trades and stuff, like they're pretty low, like they're in a good spot at a lot of positions. So if they wanted to go nuts, it's not going to happen. But Todd McShay threw out a scenario where the Rams are just say F them picks and go up and get Jeremiah Love, like trade up and go get him. So
speaking of going nuts, Corey, look at the guy on the turn. Just went Andrews and Sadiq. Oh,
whoa,
okay. Yeah, I mean it's a build, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a good. Best of luck to you, sir.
All right. So normally, right now, I would take Jaden Daniels because I've been drafting a lot of him, but I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. Okay. I don't have a lot of Swift so far, and I mentioned this to you last night, but in general, I think that if you just as a general idea. The top 6 rounds taking running backs and wide receivers can return some of the better builds as you then take the QB and tight ends later. But of course, like I mentioned, I love taking those early tight end and QBs occasionally. So
I'm going to go Marv.
Go Marv.
I'm going Marv. I know.
Jacoby.
I like we say we got a Cardinals build, baby.
We got a Cardinals build. Now, okay, I think this is an interesting question. Let's say coming up here, you have the opportunity. Do you go all into the Cardinals build and take Michael Wilson?
Michael Wilson, probably not. I think this is
too much.
Probably where I draw the line. I could be talking to Tyler Algier right here.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the thing is like Jeremiah Love, like there's legit high. We'll find out tomorrow if it's BS or not. That if the Cardinals don't trade out, that they're just like, okay, you know what? We're just going to take the best player available. We think it's Jeremiah Love. And they take him, and everybody's like, then Tyler Algier goes back to being what he was behind Bijan, and they'll figure something to do with Trey Benson, and Bam Knight will probably just get cut. And then James Conner will be hanging out there too. It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare scenario.
The implications of where Jordan Love goes, the ramifications just ripple effect so many different things.
It really does.
I can't wait to find out the answer. You know, my hope, Corey, my hope is I know won't happen, but I'm hoping and praying that he goes to the Commanders. That just would be such a fantasy, fun environment.
That's definitely the best landing spot.
Tennessee's probably where he's going to go, right? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I Tennessee would be a fine landing spot. I think I've warmed up to that.
Okay.
Like I'm in that spot right now where I want to go running back because I know later on that's what I'm gonna like. But yeah, it's just I don't know.
Warren
just, I don't love what's there.
I get it.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm a Warren guy. But
you are a Warren guy, I know. Oh, it is me. Okay. Actually,
that's okay.
Yeah,
I was hoping
I did get autoed that, but I did get autoed that for the record. But yeah, like that's probably I was also like I just in an ADP fall. I don't know. I like taking guys that are going to fall that far past ADP. So,
and I'm going to go ahead and do the pick that I'm going to be confident with, and just grabbing Harold Fannin here at the end of 7, start of 8. Whenever I have the chance and I don't have a tight end, I think it's a good spot to grab my first one. And again, targets galore. I can just see targets galore coming his way.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That guy is just doing what he wants, and I kind of appreciate it. But
yeah, no, I mean, do your thing. I like you, but you're crazy.
I like you, but
Michael
crazy,
Will. It's gonna be funny if Michael Wilson is like the top guy.
But, there he went. Hey, I was gonna push him to you because
I'm
gonna take Jackson Dart.
Sure, it's a good pick.
We talked about with Dart before. He can be unstacked.
Yeah, I do like Addison, but let's see what this guy does here.
Yep, but the pick away kind of is potentially set up exactly what you talked about.
Yeah. And
there you go.
Bingo. Tyler Algier. Cardinals field.
Cardinals.
If there's any team that you want to go all in on, it's the Arizona Cardinals. What's the worst that can happen?
If you could take away one thing from our Dominate series, go all in on the Cardinals.
On the Cardinals, right? Like we are a Cardinals. Are we talking baseball or football?
Oh, we're back to football. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Whoopsies.
You thought, oh gosh.
Speaking of the St. Louis Cardinals, what a start to the season, dude. They won again last night. I'm going to look and see.
They're playing today, weren't they?
I was going to say they're playing this afternoon. They lost today. They lost 4-1. Jansen Junk shut them down, but still 14-10. Great start. They got junked. Jordan with his 11th homer today, Cor.
Oh, I almost bet that on Underdog. I almost played that. It was a $5 freebie, and I almost bet Jordan on a home run.
You should have. You should always.
I was looking at it, and then I think I don't know. life happened and I forgot about it and I'm done.
Major League leader Yordan Alvarez here as we sit on April 22nd.
Oh, Jeremiah Jackson, other 2 ribbies. Who, baby? Man, how bad are the Royals? Wolf.
Oh, Royals are terrible, and they
Vinny
should
P, though, hit a bomb. Yeah, Bobby Witt still doesn't have a home run yet. That's super tight, super sick.
Super. What I think he's at like 8 steals though.
Yeah, he got another steal today.
What number was it? Can you see?
I think it is. It's 9. Yeah.
9. Yep. So he was at 8. Okay, coming back around to us. You are a pick away.
Yeah.
You were up, or you were up. Bo Nix, come on down.
Oh my God. I'm so happy that bam. Man, he was on my radar for last round. I'm loving that.
That's perfect. Waiting for your running backs there and getting Algier and Monungai. A big fan of that as well.
Yeah, really like that a lot.
This build's coming together nice. 1-4-3-1. I've got a 1-3-3-1. Now it's back to me. I could take.
We've got some thumpers.
If I wanted to take Corum, I could. I'm not going to. I'm going to take my QB2, and I'm going to grab Bo Nix. Because Dart and Nix, I am shooting for that moon, baby. Shoot for the moon.
Yeah. Shoot for the moon, baby.
As we come back around, I know exactly who I will take if he's there. I don't want to say the name to jinx myself, but sure. I know the pick. I'm sure you know the pick, and I'm sure a lot of the audience knows the pick.
Oh, yeah. But
one away.
Don't auto.
No, it's going to be running back, not wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. I didn't look.
There it is.
Yeah.
Now you see it.
Yeah. There you go. There he is.
Well, come on down.
Yeah. I think this is, man, do I round out my running back room right now? Who just went? Jordan Mason. That's who I was looking at. So
Price isn't terrible, right? I mean, if you do want to with Price.
I kind of like Wandale here, though.
I like Wandale.
Yeah, Jadarian Price is like the only thing I'm worried about. Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is he's just going to go somewhere that, because I like that article I was telling you I was reading earlier is they said like that the Jags supposedly love Jadarian Price, and if he's there at the end of the second round.
Let's talk about that for a second then. Let's say he does go there. Okay, let's just assume Jadarian Price is a Jaguar. Look at where Bashaw Tootin went. He went at 5'11", right after Quinchon, right before Scadabo. If Price goes to Jacksonville, where does Tootin fall in where do you think he goes? Does he go any further than Chuba Hubbard? Or, does he still stay high in your mind?
He should. No. Because if they take Jadarian Price, if they spend second round capital on Jadarian Price, but people like the talent of Tootin, and granted it was a much deeper running back class last year, but he was a 4th round pick. They're a lot more invested in Jadarian Price, so that would be a timeshare, no doubt about it.
Where would you move Tootin down in your initial thought? Like looking at the running back board here, where would you put him at?
If I were to play a name game, let's see, I would probably, it wouldn't be that far compared to where he went, because like I think he's probably along the same lines of an RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift. I'd rather have Scadaboo than him, barring them taking. Oh, dang it! Well, that's who I'm going to take if he's there. Shoot, the guy I wanted went, but that's okay. Because another guy makes. No, I wanted Malik Willis, but Sam Darnold makes more sense if he's there. But
he does. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, but so if he's there, that's the pick. But everybody are jerks, and they're like, "Oh, we got to take our 10th quarterback."
Oh well, there you go. You get it.
There went Sharbs.
Yeah, that's early for Sharbs.
Yeah, it is. I'm. I'll say.
You're up, right? I just want to make sure you're a second away.
I didn't.
There you go, Sammy D. D.
Yep, I'm really happy with that.
Okay, now I am going with wide receiver here, and this is a gamble wide receiver pick no matter what I do. Golden Downs, Higgins, Coker. I mean, I could just mix it up to Kittle, but I don't think I'm going to. Downs, Golden, help me.
Golden.
Golden. No, Downs.
Downs.
Did I get it switched? Nope. I tried to switch it last.
That's fine. That's fine. Honestly, I think it's the same. Downs should get more volume, but a lot more draft capital than Golden, and they should be more motivated to get him the ball. But I think Downs is down. Like Golden's the ceiling, Downs the floor.
Yeah, and this is the rounds where wide receiver, where honestly, I mean, it's just taking some flyers and hope the best for what happens. And who knows? At least they both have good upside. And I'm about to add another one right now. I think I'm going to go rookie. Although let me double check my build 2-4-4-1. Actually, I should probably grab another running back as I don't want to wait too long. I'm into Mike Washington. Let's grab Mike Washington here. That's my fifth. And yeah, 2-5-4-1. You're at 2-4-4-1 coming to your next pick, and you are up, sir.
And
Duh. Kelsey, come on down.
Yeah, Kelsey. So Kelsey McBride, done, tight end.
Done at tight end. Not going to use that opportunity to add an extra wide receiver or running back.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you can be done at quarterback? Could you do 2-2 with this team? And
the thought crossed my mind. It did. It honestly, I mean, Jacoby Brissett, if he's there, that makes all the sense in the world to do.
Kind of got to do that, yeah. Let's look at his ADP. Yeah, so it would be your next go around.
It would have to be my next pick, yeah. Mm-hmm. But then I'd be done at quarterback and tight end. So then I'm taking running backs and receivers the rest of the way.
I mean, since you're Mr. Arizona Cardinal, I think Jacoby kind of has to be.
I am the Cardinals fan, so I love them. I just love them. They're really good.
You love the Cardinals and the Chargers.
Yep, Cardinals and Chargers. Big fan.
Oh, speaking of, did you notice today I'm rocking the Drew Brees Chargers?
Oh yeah, I noticed.
My oldest and favorite jerseys.
I knew that one was this time. Yesterday, I was like, you had to pop up a little bit, but I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is Drew Brees. I know that one.
Drew Brees, baby. I started the Dominate series wearing the Drew Brees Saints, closed it with the Drew Brees Chargers.
An interesting fall there for Khalil Shakir.
Bill Krosky, the running back. Okay.
All right. Ooh, do I push
it? You could push it because I won't take him. So you only have the people at the turn to worry about those three. Well, you got 4 teams to worry about. Let's real quick look at their quarterbacks. Well, you're going to have, we don't have time. You got to choose.
All right. We're going to go Bill.
Bill, do it.
Yep.
Come on now. Push it. Push it real good.
Yep. We pushed it. We went Bill. We'll see if that bites us in the butt.
I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to work out.
Yeah,
I have faith.
We'll
I have faith. Do I want a third QB, though, with Cam, Bryce, or Daniel Jones? None of them make sense for any sort of build purpose. I'm going to just go ahead and grab Travis Hunter. I've been into just taking him late here as a wide receiver piece, and I don't want to get screwed with one of these guys at the turn taking him before me because I could go with any of these quarterbacks too. None of them matter to me. And that's even if I want to take a third, I probably will.
Yeah.
There goes Bryce. There goes Daniel Jones. So those guys have 3, 2, and 3. This guy he took his third, but okay, Corey. Oh, unbelievable.
That's fine.
To be his third right there. Oh well, yeah, it is what it is. You'll be all right. You didn't have to have that. We've already discussed what if Jacoby is replaced by Ty Simpson or whatever. So it is.
That we talked about before. Sometimes just take your guy. Normally, if I would just do it, but it looked like you just don't. Go ahead and make your pick, and then we can.
Yeah, I was about to take Chig because I've been drafting Chig a ton, But I'm going to finish my running back right now and take the other rookie running back that I'm really intrigued by with Emmett Johnson. And now I'm done at my running back room. Again, I like to be done early at running back if I can. Okay, back to you.
I am gonna take Gino.
And
I am gonna go QB3. I'm not in love with a lot. Like I think there's a lot of players still left, but like no one that I need to take right now. Like there's still a lot at running back and receiver, I think, for me. So I'm just gonna finish. Like I should have taken Brissett last time. I didn't need Bill. So I'm not even super high on Bill because if they take Jeremiah Love, then Bill is going to be absolutely nothing. But if they don't, he'll have a role.
I think that you made the right decision, even though it didn't work out, because there was not that far to swing around to you. It made sense that those guys wouldn't have. It made sense they could have taken one, but not all of them double tapped. You knew I wasn't going to take one. You did the right thing. It's just it didn't work out.
Yeah. So and you just got, if you're in the middle of the draft, you're going to play chicken. You just don't be, like we did the right thing. The strategy was sound. Just doesn't always work out that way. Now, when you're at the bookend, that's different. Because there's way too much that could happen. Don't try to predict what's going to happen there. But if you're in the middle and you want to try and do it, that's fine. Just have a backup plan.
And you already had two good quarterbacks, so the fact that you didn't get them wasn't going to really make or break your team. It was just a nice stack potential piece. And you know what? Bill showed some upside, didn't he? Like
he was a winner in the people that did invest in him championship week, he went bonkers.
Yeah. Yep. He paid off big time for the people that had him on their rosters that made it to that final week. No doubt about it. Okay.
Absolutely.
You're at a 3-5-4-2. Now you're back to you. Adonai, you going to do the same thing as last night? And
that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yep. And then for me, you know what? I think this is the time for me where I'll take the Dontavian Wicks. Oh, I'm frozen. Let me get back in there. Okay, he starred. We're good. I still don't have my tight end 2 yet. I probably will look at doing that with this swing around pick here. It will be Stowers if he makes it. If not, Mason Taylor makes a lot of sense. But you're not taking. I was about to say you have the Jets thing, but you're not taking another tight end. So,
the only one I thought of was going to be AJ Barner with my Seattle guys, but
yeah, like you said, you kind of already have committed. You don't have to. You could take another tight end.
Sure. I'll do whatever I want. It's a free country.
I do what I want. Yeah,
I think Stowers is a good pick here. Yep, that's a good pick here.
Okay. Builds are coming together nicely.
Man, Christian Kirk or Malik Washington? Malik Washington. I think I'd go Wheatley. I think over him over Tyreek.
Yeah, as we discussed last night with Tyreek, I mean, who the heck knows? It's literally just your level of gamble that you want to take.
Yeah.
And at least Washington's going to be out there. At least he should be.
Yeah, right. Should be. I mean, who the heck else do they have?
Right. That's like it should. Okay. So now, as I am looking and thinking about what I'm going to do with the come around, I have the 2-6-6-2. If I want to take a QB3 or a tight end 3, I'm going to be Tua just went, so I'm going to have that Rodgers thing to think about, or Cousins or Sanders type of deal. It's nothing great. Tight end, I'll be fine to take whatever makes it as a tight end 3. But I'm probably just going to wide receiver, most likely. Yep. Take one of these rookies with who comes back around that we've just talked about.
Yep. Yeah, I'm receiver and there we go. I was trying to find him. I'm receiver and running back from here on out.
You think you're going to finish with 6 running backs or 7?
I think 6 is what I'm aiming for right now.
And 9 wide receivers?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what we're looking at. But that just comes down to whenever I'm in 19, 20, what's there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Coming back to you, is there any sort of stack pieces you see or anything that stands out to you?
Stack pieces wise, I mean, he's a little bit down the list. Tory Horton for the Seattle stack, and then Cooper Kupp, obviously too. Cooper Kupp. Let's see. I'm not a Trey Tucker guy. I hate that there's tight ends that I want right now, actually, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about it.
I mean, if Mason makes it, maybe this is a spot to do it just in case. Okay, he did it. Okay,
the draft hope job.
Yeah. There you go.
I was gonna say because with the Jets, because Jets Cardinals.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, dude, we're doing great. We are thriving right now. All right, let's see. So 6. If I go 9, 1, and 2, and 3, I think yeah. Okay, actually, you know what? We talked about Jordan James earlier. Let's throw a dart at Jordan James and see what happens.
I mentioned he is the backup, right? Like
as of right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So you never know what they're gonna do.
I'm gonna say that neither of these guys that are picking after me are gonna take Rodgers, and I'm gonna grab Germie right now. And then hope that Rodgers makes it back around, since all three of these guys already have 3 quarterbacks. Hope they don't take a 4th. And if Rodgers goes, guess what? Who cares?
Yeah. You'll be able to sleep at night.
I sure will. I'll sleep just fine tonight. There goes Rodgers.
Yep.
So we've entered the who cares.
Was that his 3rd or 4th?
That was his 4th. That was the guy at the pick 12 that's done the interesting build with getting Rodgers as a 4th. Hey, good for him. Hey. And then Elijah Sarratt, come on down. I'm grabbing these rookies here. They're exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
All right. Coming back to you.
Yeah. It's Tory Horton if he's there.
And you got him.
And we got him.
Lock it up.
We talked earlier. We talked before, if you do go JSN early in round 1, and you can, it's really easy to build Seattle stacks.
Yeah, it is. And that's one thing that I'm loving about it. It's one of the best teams in football, the Super Bowl winners, and no one really wants them.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, really, JSN at 7. That was awesome. I'm jacked up right now.
There is something that is real, and that is the Super Bowl hangover that does affect teams. Like, do you have any fear of that happening to Seattle this year? I mean, I guess you've got to have some fear.
I think it's much more likely to happen to New England than Seattle, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, New England, you didn't want to dunk on them too much, but they were lucky to be there.
They should have been there. Yeah.
Everybody outside of the New England area knew it. They just didn't want to admit it to themselves, and then they got to the Super Bowl and just got their tails kicked in. And we all were like, well, duh, because they weren't good. They were a good team. You don't just win 13 or 14 games if you're not good, but the schedule really helped, a lot.
A lot.
A lot. Oh, wait,
Okay, you're up. It's the final countdown.
Let's not mess around.
Yep. And I'm going to also not mess around. And it's not on me yet. Let me not speak anything before it's actually my pick.
Yeah. I could have gone Pat Bryant there, actually, but that might have been the better pick, but just with the build, and I'm fine with getting whoever at this point.
So
Terry.
Turd Ferguson just went. So Patty Freiermuth or Chris Bell. Shoot for the moon, baby. Let's shoot for that moon. Because now that's a 9th wide receiver. And I don't think I'm going to take another quarterback either.
Yeah, bless you. I don't know if I do want to go running back or receiver. DeMercado, obviously. I mean, looking at my team, I think a receiver makes more sense.
I'm going with Theo Johnson, and we talked about him. I've got Jackson Dart. Take him as my tight end 3. That's kind of what my thought was with pushing tight end there. But yeah, I could have taken Cousins instead of Bell last round, by the way, if I wanted that extra quarterback. But I really think that this team, it's either Dart and Bo Nix are either going to carry it or they're not, and it's that simple.
I think I'm going to go DeMercado here. You think 7 or 8 running backs, that's dumb?
No. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I think it's totally fine.
I think my receiver room's strong enough. I
do too.
Yeah.
After you just added Horton and Cup, yeah, just go back to running back, get that extra option there.
Yeah. So by going with a 2 tight end build, that essentially afforded me to take 1, maybe 2 extra running backs.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, let's take a look at our teams. This was super fun. So I finished with the 2-6-9-3 in my final build of the little board. And I love Jackson Dart and Bo Nix for their ceiling. Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall, Swift, Gainwell, and then shooting the moon with these rookies of Mike Washington and Emmett Johnson. This is a very rookie-centric team. Again, it's the day before the draft. We've talked about all of these guys. I'm more hyped on them than I ever have been. My wide receiver room, gosh, I love that top 3. Lamb, Devonta, and Devontae. That is really nice. And since I had those top 3, I was able to push it to 129 and then look at the guys that I bulked in, added 6 more names. Golden.
It's a young room there at the end.
It's a young room. Golden, Hunter, Wicks, Bernard, Sarratt, and Bell. But it's a very high upside room that I'm a fan of. And then keep that rookie train rolling with Stowers, and then 2 second-year guys, right, with Fannin and Theo. Yep. So, yeah, I like my team. It's a fun team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good-looking team.
All right, now let's go through yours.
Yeah, Hurts, Darnold, Geno. That's solid, rock solid. Very happy with that and how that turned out, especially with stacking. Let's see. Yeah, Kyron and Javonte are 2 guys I don't have a ton of yet. So, again, going back to that, mixing it up, kind of rock solid guy, or solid guys. They're not going to give you a ton of ceiling, but both floor guys. Same with Tyler Algier, assuming that Jeremiah Love doesn't end up there tomorrow night. Manungai, we like the upside there. Bill, we'll see. Again, depends on where Jeremiah Love goes. This has just a huge effect on the whole thing. Jordan James and DeMercado, those are guys like I haven't taken Jordan James yet in anything. So let's start sprinkling some shares there. And DeMercado is one of my favorite late picks. Jackson, so JSN at 7, love it, absolutely love it. And Roma Dunze, I'm on record to saying I prefer Rome at his ADP compared to Burden. And Marv, I mean, gosh, he shouldn't be that bad. But it ended up making sense, it ended up later, like after taking McBride, having a Cardinals build. But, I've got a good mix of floor and ceiling guys with Wandale and Cup and guys like that. Then mixing in your Adonai Mitchell. So I really like my receiver room. And then tight end, taking Trey McBride early gives you the opportunity to go 2 tight end if you want. And McBride, Kelsey doesn't get any more solid than that.
I don't think so. That was super fun.
Yeah.
And thus concludes our 2026 pre-NFL draft Dominate series and draft season on Underdog. And the next time that we draft together on Underdog, we are drafting the main slate, which I am so pumped for. So we don't know what date that's going to be yet, but that's going to be coming up very soon.
We'll keep an eye out, and we'll post on our socials about it whenever, just as a hey, heads up, this is out there.
if we see it, I'm gonna immediately try to get a hold of Corey and be like, "Hey, are you free? Are you free to do this tonight? If not, I may jump in. We'll see. We're gonna mostly be together drafting this entire time, but there will be some times that maybe if I'm busy, Corey might jump on and draft. Same if he's busy, I might jump on and draft. We'll have a few other guests with us along the way. Some of our buddies, Duggar will be on with us. I have no doubt quite a bit. We have a good friend of ours, Blake, who you guys know from the baseball streams. And Brock, I don't know if Brock will come on with us. We'll see. He's much more of a baseball guy than a football guy. Our buddy Chad, he's going to probably want to come on and talk some teams with us over the course of the summer.
And then, if we end up on our own time drafting any ones that we love the build or love how, we could still touch on those too.
Absolutely. We've got the exposure tool, which once that's up and going, I can't wait to start looking at that once we've got drafts in there. I use that for baseball all the time. It's not ready for football yet, but I'm sure it will. And they'll have that up and going once we move into the main slate season. Can't wait to do the first millionaire. Last year, my first millionaire team that I drafted right at the end of April, beginning of May, was one of my better teams out of my 20-something. So, I did really well with my early drafts last year. I hope to keep that going.
Yep. A lot of, if there's any new folks out there that are watching and listening, if they think it's crazy to be drafting right now, a lot of the time, this is because the market hasn't adjusted yet to have post-draft and free agency and anything that happens beyond that. So this is the best time to get value.
Yeah. In the early, because here's a good point for what you just said too. So when we talk about something like the millionaire tournament, and specifically for that, because that tournament will stay open all summer. It'll have, 800,000 people in it, or 677,000 or whatever it is. It's going to have that so many people. It's going to be open all summer. So you're going to be competing in against teams. Now, obviously each individual league, but your advancing rosters will be competing against teams that have been drafted all summer. Compared to, for instance, whenever the Puppy 1 drops, the Puppy 1 will fill within a few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your early drafts in the Puppy 1 are only going to be versus the ADP that changes over the course of the next 3-ish weeks, 2 to 3 weeks or so, compared to the Millionaire, which will be open, like I said, all summer. There's going to be eliminator tournaments and stuff like that that'll also be open for months at a time. So we'll talk about all those strategies and things once we kick into the next.
We got all summer. I need to knock out a few more of these little boards here while I still have the entries.
Yeah, buddy, absolutely. Well, I'm jealous that you get to do that. I think I'm going to go jump on Drafters and do a couple drafts over there today. So
you just got the itch,
I got the
itch. Too long, you get the shakes.
I know. But guys, hey. Thank you all again so much. We appreciate everyone who's commented and followed along, and cannot wait to keep this going moving forward. So our next show, Friday or Saturday night, we may or may not have a underdog draft to do. If not, I'm sure I'll at least do a drafters.
We'll probably. I think we'll probably shoot for Saturday. Because day 2 will be Friday, and I'd like to. I don't know if they'll launch anything because it'll all be over because day 3 happens during the day. So
then let's do that. Let's shoot for Saturday. That way we'll know all of the day 3. So Saturday night, everyone. So perfect. Okay. For Corey, I'm Spencer. This has been Best Ball Draft Addicts, and until next time, everyone. Keep drafting. Thanks.
See you guys.